All right, so we're going to kick it off with some news over from Disney Plus. They have Nick Fury getting his own series on Disney Plus, so that's the big news this week. And basically, they say Samuel Jackson is set to reprise the role of Nick Fury in a new Marvel series currently in development at Disney Plus. Variety was the one that broke the news. The exact plot details of the show are being kept under wraps. Uh, Samuel L. Jackson also played the character in 2 episodes of the ABC series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the last time we saw Nick Fury on screen was in the post-credit scene of Spider-Man Far From Home, where you see him on a Skrull ship and just somewhere out in space somewhere. So there's not really a lot of details, but this is still a series that really excites me. But how about you guys, Ben? What do you think? Are you excited for Samuel Jackson Nick Fury series?
I am. Yeah, I mean, God, you look so young, but I mean, you're the one that mentioned it in the chat. He's like 71 years old.
Yeah, he's 71.
Yeah, that's a year older than my dad.
Yeah, it's crazy to think because he looks like to me honestly like he's in his late 50s or something. Like he looks young.
Dude has lived a life like his Hollywood career didn't launch until he was in his 40s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. He's a former heroin addict, I believe. He was a drug addict at one point, if I'm not mistaken. He was arrested during the civil rights movement. Like this dude has lived a life.
Wow. Yeah, that is a long life.
And yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm interested to see when they're going to take place. Even though he's 71, like you said, he's 50. So it could be a prequel. We don't, it doesn't have to be a sequel, but
yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. How about you, guys? Matt?
Well, yeah, I'm really interested in this because honestly, if Samuel L. Jackson is in it, I'm there. I'm just curious when when the show will take place. You know what I mean? Like what are we gonna have? Are we gonna have like the early years of Nick Fury? Are we gonna have him in space? Like that's where I'm more curious. But yeah, no, he did such a great job with Nick Fury. Of course, I want more Nick Fury, and I would love it to be his limited series.
Yeah, and I just wonder too. Also, if it was going to be more of a prequel type, are we going to see some de-aging technology? Possibly. I'm not super excited about a lot of the de-aging technology that I've seen, but I mean, it is something that we might possibly see.
So. Yeah, with him, you don't really need it because, like you said, he does look young as it is.
I know, right?
You know, you make him look young, but he still moves like a 71-year-old.
Oh, for sure.
In that scene in The Irishman with Robert De Niro, yeah, he looks young, but you can tell it's an elderly man kicking somebody.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. That scene where he's trying to curb stomp someone, Robert De Niro, but he looks young, but the movement you can definitely tell he's still old.
So yeah, that's the thing. Right? You can make them look young, but you can't make them act young, I guess. Is there an example of this de-aging technology that so far has impressed you guys?
I would have to say, I will say The Irishman, even though the movement didn't look all that fluid.
Yeah.
The look of them really, but I'm not into it.
For sure. How about you, Jordan?
For me, the one movie that actually comes to mind that wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but the de-aging that they used was in that movie Gemini Man, where we had Will Smith going against his younger self, and in that movie, like whatever they used for the de-aging technology, it looked a little different than what they used for a lot of other movies, and it looked a lot more seamless. And then I'd also have to say a lot of deep fake things that I've seen also, it looked pretty cool, but that's something that just kind of scares me. You have this movie that's supposed to be coming out where they're going to use what's his name, Dean, James Dean, and then when you want to put they want to put him back in a movie, even though he's passed away. So that's kind of some creepy stuff.
70 years ago.
Yeah, right. Sure. So
that one infuriates me.
I hate to say it, but don't you guys think that's the future? I mean,
it is, but you're not casting James Dean. Nobody can act. That's the thing. You're acting. You're putting the image of James Dean, but you're not putting James Dean because nobody can act like James Dean. Nobody can be James Dean, the guy that died in 1956.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's the part that boggles my mind. Like it's one thing if you want to recreate them for like a little bit, like the James Dean is added for the story. That's one thing, but to do this and make him play a character in the movie, no, makes no sense to me. Like I'm gonna watch it just to see how badly they fail, but but it's just like but for me, my favorite. Sorry.
To be fair, you don't know if they're going to fail.
No, I don't know if they're going to fail. I guess that is a little bit of bias, but it's just one of those "what the hell are they doing" moments.
Right.
For me, my favorite use of the de-aging technology actually is Samuel L. Jackson and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, true. So I mean, they already did it once with him. So
yeah,
I mean,
it worked.
See it again.
It worked.
Yep. Right.
Okay, what's the next story there, Jordan?
All right. So the next story is we got a new first look at the new George Clooney post-apocalyptic movie. It's going to be called Midnight Sky. It's a movie that actually wrapped filming in February, and it's going to premiere on Netflix. So I'm just going to give you a little background on the movie. So the synopsis says, something's gone wrong. Far away, Earth is silent. Toxic clouds swirl around it in serpentine coils. Nothing seems to be alive below them. In the Midnight Sky, directed by and starring George Clooney, the crew of the NASA starship Aether is returning home after exploring a newly discovered moon on Jupiter, which turns out to have a breathable atmosphere and a habitable climate. But as they emerge from a communications blackout, they find out that the discovery of a potential new home for human beings has been overshadowed by the death of an old one. Clooney plays Augustine Lofthouse, a scientist at a remote Arctic research station who may be the last man on Earth. The astronomer is dying from cancer, and he chooses to remain at the snowbound observatory to end his days alone, the same way he lived them, except he's not alone. A child named Iris, played by an actor that sorry, I'm probably going to butcher the name. Kaolin Springall hid herself during the outpost evacuation and now depends on him for survival. He wasn't really into protecting himself at all, Clooney said. The little girl is a problem for him because now he actually has to take care of somebody. Augustine also begins to feel an overwhelming obligation to venture out on their safe haven. Ooh, and my camera dies there. On their safe haven to contract the Aether crew and send them a warning message: turn back. So there's a crew that's on the ship. George Clooney and this little girl, they're on Earth, just monitoring things from Earth, and then you have a small cast on the ship that's comprised of a mission specialist, Sully, that's played by Felicia Jones, is desperate to reestablish communications with the unrespective Earth, while David O. Yellowell's flight commander, Admiral, considers steering them into uncharted space as a shortcut home. Flight engineer Maya, who's played by Tiffany Boone, must keep the ship functioning as it crashes through clouds of rocky ice. And Kyle Chandler's pilot Mitchell and Damien Bashir, aerodynamicist Sanchez fret over whether returning at all is the right course. So basically, you just have Earth that's pretty much dying, and George Clooney and the little girl's the only people left. You have a crew that's on its way back to Earth, but they have a potential habitable world that they can go to, and they're telling them, don't come to Earth, it's too dangerous. So I mean, we'll start with you, Matt. What do you think? What are your thoughts? I mean, do you have any interest in anything like this, or does the cast of the story or anything interest you?
Well, the cast, while you were reading it, I was definitely looking at the IMDb page. The cast is a pretty good cast.
Yeah. While you're talking, I'll fix this.
Yeah, it's a pretty good cast. It's probably not a movie I'll see day of, but it'll definitely piques my interest a little bit. Like I'm not really into the post-apocalyptic whole thing most of the time, but based on the strength of the cast, I probably would check this out.
Yeah, what do you think, Ben?
What do I think? Okay, so let me get this straight. This guy is ready to die, finds a kid that he has to take care of.
Sounds
What?
Yeah,
sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, and him is Logan in Outer Space, it sounds like.
Or
right.
The Last of Us. I'd actually put it more on The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, just based on the whole apocalyptic thing.
Yeah.
You know, apocalyptic. He has to be caretaker with a little girl. All of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, for me, like
I never
I
thought of
like.
that, to be honest, until you just said it.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
That's why
But
the Logan. Okay.
and then all of a sudden,
Hey, if it don't
all of a
work,
sudden, zombies appear. Right? No,
yeah,
just kidding.
yeah, no kidding.
Mutants.
Arnold
Yeah,
Schwarzenegger,
right.
Mr. Freeze pops out and is like, about to die. Biff.
Yep. Right. But for me, though, what honestly interests me is one, the cast has got a pretty solid cast, and then also the space. Like I'm just a sucker for like any kind of space adventure, like things like that. The apocalyptic part doesn't so much. I think I've kind of been getting a little like worn out with so many like post-apocalyptic things going on lately in our movies. But I mean, for space, that's one thing we've also had a lot of. But I mean, I never get tired of movies set in space. It just, I mean, that's just kind of my jam. I like that kind of stuff. Even having it being set in the future a little bit. I mean, I like all of that. So yeah, I'll probably watch it. I mean, maybe not day one, but I mean, I'm gonna check it out for sure.
All right. Talk off the top. What's your favorite space movie that takes place in space? I mean,
My
guess
favorite-
for you to be Spaceballs, wouldn't it be, Ben?
Spaceballs is actually like
It's a good one.
really up there actually. But
It's a good one, but no, my favorite space movie. I'm gonna say The Martian and Matt Damon.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, same.
Not a comedy, but it was a good movie.
yeah, that's one of my
Oh,
favorite space movies.
There were some funny moments in it.
Oh yeah, of course. But comedy. What about you?
Yeah,
Jordan?
one of my other favorite space movies that I actually just rewatched a couple weeks ago is the movie Galaxy Quest. I freaking adore that
I did watch
that
that
movie, and like that's a great kind of sci-fi comedy movie. So yeah, I'll definitely go with that.
Yeah, for me, it's a toss-up between A New Hope and Aliens.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's not fair. I mean, more real.
Okay, then I will take A New Hope out. Aliens.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds solid.
Yeah, Aliens
And
is the way to go.
how many years do you have The Martian or Aliens? I forgot about the Aliens.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Oh, Aliens. Yeah.
okay, guys, let me ask you this. What you like more, Spaceballs or Galaxy Quest?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a tough
that
one.
is tough.
Ugh. For me, I probably have to give the slight edge to Galaxy Quest for me, but it's close. I mean, it's very, very close.
Yeah, it's close for me too, but I'm actually going to give it a little bit to Spaceballs because I find there's more quotable thing. Like Spaceballs is just more quotable.
Yeah.
Although
That is
Galaxy
true.
Quest is amazing. I too recently rewatched when they fandom did release that documentary. I rewatched Galaxy Quest. It holds up. It still holds up. But yeah, I'm going to give the slight edge to Spaceballs.
I'm with you, Matt. I like Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that documentary.
He's in the foot. He's dead. He ate himself. You're dead.
Yep.
I'm a man. I'm a dog. I'm my own best friend. Yeah.
Yeah, when that documentary came out from Fandom, I was actually working in a movie theater, so I got to see it on the big screen. So that was pretty cool. I saw a lot of people from like Screen Junkies world and that like pop up on it. I saw Scott Mantz definitely pop up at least like 2 or 3 times. So yeah, so that was a lot of fun to see, especially seeing some recognizable faces like that. So
Yeah, and if any of you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? You are a geek. You should have seen it by now. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's available on Amazon Prime for those who want to watch it.
And do you consider it a Star Trek movie?
I consider it a good Star Trek movie, but I would consider it a Star Trek movie per se. It does. Let's just put it this way: it almost does Star Trek better than some of those movies. And I'm talking pre-Kelvin. I'm talking like the old school stuff. Yeah, no, you could see where Star Trek definitely influenced it for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if I'm not mistaken, the scene with where they fight the big rock monster, was that not also filmed where they filmed the Star Trek episode Diner?
I really know.
Yeah,
it looks familiar. It does. Yeah.
Okay,
all right, awesome.
Yeah, what's the next one?
All right, so the next one we have a new movie on Apple Plus that Apple Plus actually won the rights to. The movie's going to be called Cherry, and it's going to star Tom Holland, and it's going to be directed by the Russo brothers, Joe and Anthony Russo. This was a huge bidding war, so I guess there's a lot of people kind of vying for the rights to this, and supposedly it's supposed to be a big award season contender also. So but so in a deal that lands in the high 40 millions, Apple Original Films has acquired worldwide rights to Cherry, the first film directed by Anthony and Joe Russo since their Avengers Endgame became the highest global grossing film of all time. The film is the film is decidedly a different kind of drama, an adaptation of the best-selling novel by Nico Walker that is based on his story. It's a finished film that will become an award season entry. Tom Holland plays young Cleveland, a man who, after being spurned by the love of his life, joins the army before he returns to tell before his wife returns to tell him that she has made a mistake and actually belong together. So when he went off to the military, that was essentially the end of the relationship. The wife said, if you go off to the military, we can't be together. It's too much of a distance, that kind of thing. But then she decided that she does want to be with him. And he becomes an army medic in Iraq and sees violence and carnage that no one should. Returning with a raging case of undiagnosed PTSD, he is prescribed the opiate OxyContin. Soon he and his young wife move from pills to heroin, and he turns to robbing banks to pay their debts and feed their habit. Yeah, that got a little dark. Walker's young wife is played by Sierra Bravo, which I don't really know. She's in something called Small Engine Repair. I don't know that, but Tom Holland is a revelation in his first adult role, and Bravo establishes herself as an actress to watch in the heroin drama. So for me, this is something that I am pretty excited for, especially since they said that that's going to be an award season contender. I was excited for its previous movie that came out on Netflix. It's called Devil All the Time, but I actually heard from some good friends of mine, and after reading several reviews, it got horrible reviews. Apparently they said that movie was just total trash garbage, but the thing is, you can't always trust reviews. Sometimes you got to decide for yourself. So I have yet to check out The Devil All the Time, but in this movie Cherry, it just sounds pretty crazy. It just sounds like he was just in the war. He saw some pretty traumatic things, and then he came home. He got hooked on drugs, and to feed his habit, they went out robbing banks, I guess. So I guess I'll start with you, Ben. What are your thoughts on this? Are you a fan of Tom Holland, and is this something you would want to check out?
Well, okay, in my opinion, Tom Holland. Yeah, he's my favorite Spider-Man, and I think he's great. The sound is really interesting. I'll check it out. PTSD, sound after work, hooked on drugs. Yeah, it sounds good to me. I'll check it out for sure.
Awesome. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Like that left turn it took kind of got me in, Pete. And it's as you're reading the synopsis of it, I'm like, I can't believe we're now at a place where Tom Holland's playing a guy with a wife and going off to war. Like,
right.
Still seems
so young.
No, again, I think he's in his 30s.
Tom Holland? No. He was 19 when he was cast as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's in his early
Okay.
20s for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not that old. He's not my age.
No, but he is, I guess, technically old enough to have a wife, even though he doesn't look it. He's older.
That kind of mirrors real life, people marrying young.
Yeah.
No, I'll definitely check it out. It does interest me because I am curious to see what the Russo brothers can do post MCU godliness, right? Because that's really all they've done on the big screen so far is the MCU, if I'm not mistaken. Like prior to that, it was all television, right?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
They did that one movie with Owen Wilson. You, Me, and Dupree.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
he was in that?
I
didn't even know that. Oh, that's like one of my
forgot.
guilty pleasure movies. I really like that movie. So yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Okay, I forgot about that. Fair enough.
Yeah, for me the thing that kind of gets me a little more interested that they had a bidding war over it, and that Apple Plus paid $40 million just for the rights to this. I mean, it's got to be something pretty good if they're willing to go to all that trouble for it. So, so we'll see if it was worth the money.
Yeah. All right, what's the next one there, Jordan?
All right, so the next one I had to throw this one in because also these two were a huge part of my favorite movie trios from last week, but we got a new series from Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. It's going to be called Truth Seekers, and that's something that's like totally my jam, like totally up my alley. I'm huge on the whole paranormal stuff. So basically, you have Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and it looks like they're paranormal hunters. And from the look of the trailer that was released, it looks like Nick Frost is more of the hands-on guy. He goes into these houses, and then he's doing all the dirty work, trying to bring out all these spirits and all the crazy stuff that they end up seeing. And then you see Simon Pegg just kind of monitoring things from the office, just kind of watching everything on video. I don't know if he's going to end up going out in the field with him or not, but basically it's supposed to be a horror comedy where they start investigating all these supernatural events, and then they find that they're all linked to this secret underground organization, that there's something really sinister that's happening that might bring about the next Armageddon. So it might like very well be the end of the world. So they're actually like they're paranormal investigators, but they're also trying to save the world. So this is something that just super excites me because not only do I love those two every time that they team up. I'm a huge believer in a lot of paranormal type of things. I've actually been on a few ghost hunts myself. I've actually been out twice with the Ghost Hunters International from the Sci-Fi Channel. So I went on two different ghost hunts in Utah. So when one that was in a haunted hotel where there was a murder that was down in the basement, and then also in the attic there was a murder where the lady who actually owned the hotel, she hung herself from the rafters. So that happened. And then there's this other place called the Fear Factory that's in Utah. It's an old cement factory where they actually have turned it into a haunted house every year. You can go through, which is actually really cool. You go up about 3 or 4 stories by the end of this whole haunted house, and then you take a zip line down to get to the bottom of it. So that's fun. As long as you're not afraid of heights, but yeah. So that's part of another element to add to the scares of everything. But in that though, a legend is that they had this big kind of it's like a super hot fiery grinder that they would use to kind of melt down all the gravel to make cement, and there's a couple of guys back in like 50, 60 years ago that actually got sucked into that and were actually killed in that horrific way. So they say that like not only are there spirits haunting that place, they're malevolent spirits that are just like they're really pissed off. So yeah, so I have had a lot of fun doing that, but this series is I'm down for. I watch Ghost Adventures, I watch all that kind of stuff. But what do you guys think? we'll start with Matt first. What do you think of this? Is it something that would interest you, even for the comedy aspect?
If it's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, yeah, I'm there. I love them. I think Paul's an underrated comedy.
Yeah, same.
I agree.
I'm there. And also, I enjoy paranormal stuff. I'm not quite 100% sure where I fall on it, if I believe it or not, but I definitely love listening to paranormal stories and all that jazz, even though I did have my own paranormal thing once. But no, it's I can't. I'm excited. Like I said, it's Nick Frost, it's Simon Pegg. Only thing missing is Edgar Wright.
Yep, exactly.
How about you, Ben?
What are your thoughts, Ben? Yeah.
And Nick and Simon do Men in Black, it sounds like. And I'm all in on it.
All right.
Yep.
And then I'm in this voice, which sounds awesome to me. That's what it is, right?
A little bit.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were reading
Wow.
it, like Simon Pegg's playing an analyst, sounds like him in Mission Impossible 3.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
You.
Yeah, he just seems like
I'm sorry?
Oh, I was just gonna say he just seemed like the kind of guy that would like trick Nick Frost into going on all these paranormal things and be like, "I'll just monitor you. I'm gonna keep things safe from afar," and he's just gonna sit and like monitor it when really he's the one that's like more scared probably. And so yeah, he just so
Probably.
yeah.
And then have like Men in Black meets Ghostbusters meets Simon and yeah. I'm in for it. Why not?
Yeah, where's it getting released, Jordan? Is it theatrically or is it on a streaming service?
And so it's gonna be on Amazon Prime, and it's gonna be a series. So is what
Something
it's gonna be.
I
So, yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah, there's a couple other actors that are involved. I'm not super familiar with all of them. I know that's gonna have Malcolm McDowell. I'm familiar with him, but then also Julian Barat and Kate Nash. So those are a few. I think that's yeah. The last two I think are actually people that actually do go with him on the ghost hunts. So
yeah.
So yeah. But yeah. So that's about it for that one. But I have one last story here that I just wanted to just mention kind of briefly. But so, and I got to mention it because it's something I'm super excited for. And like I don't think I've ever been so excited for the premiere of a season like in a long time. But today we get the premiere of Fargo season 4. It actually premieres today. So that's something that like I'm like super excited. I've seen every single episode of every season of Fargo. It's one of my favorite series of all time. That series has just blown me away with everything, like from the acting to the writing to the music to just like the sets, like the way that they do the accents from North Dakota. So yeah, but I just wanted to so I just wanted to just read just a little quick synopsis of it. But so the fourth season of Fargo, and it is an anthology series, meaning that so every season you have a whole different story set in a different time period. But you'll see a little crossover of maybe some very small little elements, but for the most part, it's just totally brand new. And this season, it's set in 1950s in Kansas City, and the story follows the crime syndicate as they vie for control. The cast is led by Chris Rock, who plays Loy Cannon, the head of a crime syndicate made up of black migrants fleeing the Jim Crow South who have a contentious relationship with the Kansas City Italian mafia. Chris Rock told Entertainment Weekly, and he said he was somewhat pessimistically, but he said, "This is the best part I've ever done, and honestly, probably the best part I'll ever have." So I guess he's not high on himself, maybe, I don't know, but he said that's just how it worked. But he is high on the role. He's super excited for the role. So and also in the cast this time around our Italian actor friend Francesco Acquaroli, which I probably just totally butchered that, but and then you have Ben Whishaw, who was the voice of Paddington, and also Q in Daniel Craig's 007 movies. And you have Timothy Olyphant from Justified, Deadwood, Santa Clarita Diet. So they're all going to be in it this year. And then there's a few other actors. We're going to have Jack Houston We're gonna have Jason Schwartzman, and then Jesse Buckley, who's from a series called Wild Rose, and Jeremy Harris, who's from the show Legion. So those are some other names that are gonna pop up there. So overall, a pretty solid cast, but the story and the writing just look incredible. Just from all the trailers just keep popping up everywhere. It's like every time that I watch anything online right now, it's just Fargo everywhere. So something that I'm gonna be watching for sure. I've already got it set to record on my DVR tonight. But we'll go with you, Ben. Have you ever seen any episodes of Fargo, and is this something you'd be interested to check out?
I'll be honest, I have not seen a single episode of the show.
Oh man, you got to treat yourself. For sure.
In fact, I'm fed up binging it one day because I haven't seen it yet, and I'm happy for Chris Rock. And he's like he's really excited for it, so maybe I'll check this one out.
And also too, since it's an anthology series, really like this isn't one where you have had to see the other seasons in order to enjoy it. You can start right at the season 4, you watch all the way through it, and you won't even miss a beat because it's just its own contained thing. So that's another thing that's pretty cool for people that are new to the series. So, but what do you think, Matt? Like, have you ever seen Fargo? Like, do you have any interest in?
I've seen the movie, but I haven't seen the TV show. It didn't really interest me. But the first time I saw this trailer when it aired debuted months ago, I hooked. I'm ready to watch it. I didn't know it was happening tonight, which is awesome. I can watch it tonight.
Me neither.
But
you watch it tonight.
I was down because I'm into those old timey like class division stories and adding in the crime element, stuff like that. That's right in my wheelhouse. So I can't wait.
Yeah, but I encourage everyone, even if you haven't seen one episode of Fargo, you can start right where season 4 picks up, and you're not going to miss a thing. So that's an awesome thing that this series does. So, but